Hi YouTube, so I'm making this video in consideration of a lot of things that have been happening this week in the media, in the news. The Orlando shootings obviously being one of them last weekend. I just wanted to make a video just on my thoughts on it all really, and it's been on my mind all week, as it's obviously been on a lot of other people's minds. There's been quite a lot of heightened emotion and, differing opinions here, there and everywhere. Lots of whys and wherefores and different reasonings for things, and I'm sure there's a lot of inaccuracies being bandied around, and I just thought I'd give my piece on it. So, yeah. Obviously we can begin with the targeting and shooting of musician Christina Grimmie on Saturday in Florida, shot in cold blood by a guy who we're not exactly sure of his motives, but she was shot dead while signing autographs for her fans. Completely meaningless murder. And then the following day, Sunday, there was a mass shooting in a Orlando nightclub where I believe 49 people, a targeted attack on the LGBT community, were gunned down by, we're assuming it's a guy who just had a deep hatred of LGBT people, perhaps had links to ISIS. That's not 100% confirmed, but those people have died in cold blood, doing what they love, celebrating their life with their loved ones. And I just think it's just appalling and disgusting, and I'm just equally as disgusted as everyone out there who is just as, can't even believe it, that this has happened. And only yesterday there was another reporting in the UK that one of our Labour MPs had been stabbed and shot dead in a street. Not entirely sure of the motive of that yet, but a young woman, an MP in Parliament, was shot dead, murdered by a man who we so far believe his intent was based on a Britain First political motivated attack. So that's just the cherry on top of a very tragic cake. I'm really struggling to comprehend why this has happened, and obviously there's lots of things to say on. You could talk about radical Islam, as is being bandied around by the media a lot. You could talk about gun control. You could talk about homophobia, hate crimes, obviously which are very important issues, and I could go on talking about that for days and hours. I'm struggling to get my head around the fact that there is just so much hatred in the world, and it just seems to be getting fueled by all this propaganda, political intrigue and scaremongering. And obviously in the current political climates, both in America and in the UK and Europe at the moment, the UK is gearing up to do a vote on whether it should stay in the EU or leave the EU and be an independent, country free of the rest of the European Parliament. And there's a lot of, campaigning and scaremongering, false facts and things going around. And obviously in America you've got the general election, and I just can't, the amount of media that it's like a circus of misinformation and just complete fear-mongering going on. I think that's what's getting at me most, is that people who don't have a lot of understanding of, what happens where and the actual, facts, real facts and figures of what is actually happening in the world. I really, politicians are taking advantage of this, and newspapers are just spinning it and turning it into something that's completely not, and they're lying to people to make them vote in a way that just isn't the right kind of way to vote. And that's... I'm sorry that this video might not be that coherent, but I just don't really know what to say. I just still can't get my head around how people of this earth who wish no harm on anyone else, all they want to do is live their life, try and make a positive influence and difference in the world, help people who are in need of help, and, you know, just celebrate their life and you know, celebrate in a place where they think they have the right to feel safe and, you know, not victimised and not abused. And someone who has the ability to just walk in on that happiness and completely obliterate it in seconds and cause so much meaningless tragedy. How does that happen? It makes me so sick to think that, you know, a person running for presidency in the USA today is so much of a bigot and a racist and a xenophobe and is spreading that hate to millions of people. I just think something really needs to get done now. We can't just sit around talking about it, praying, hoping it won't happen again, because 100% yes, it will happen again if we sit and do nothing. And the whole Second Amendment thing that you have in America, where it's everyone's God-given right to own a firearm or whatever, that was written in like the 18th century, and machine guns, I'm pretty sure, didn't exist back then. So are you telling me that you're still going to allow a military-style weapon to be used, to be purchasable by civilians that are on no-fly lists, but yet are on the terrorist watch list, and are still allowed to walk into a gun shop, purchase a firearm, a semi-automatic weapon capable of killing 10, 20, 30, 40, upwards of 50 people, and, you know, and just murder them, completely, like, unchecked, you know, no background information, just, you know, how, that can't be right. I mean, I must be being stupid or something, but how is that still being allowed? And, you know, we can go back to, like, the Sandy Hook incident where a classroom full of really young kids were just brutally murdered. It seems to somehow suggest to me, and you can put in the comments whether you agree or not, it just seems to suggest that you think that it's okay to have a classroom full of dead children, and, you know, that's bearable for you as long as you can get to keep your guns. Where is the logic in that? I just can't. I just can't. There is something deeply, deeply wrong with that. And something needs to be done in government right now, because this can't be allowed to continue. We can't just sit on our arses and say that's wrong and not do anything about it. Of course we should. Yes, we should pray. Yes, we should hold vigils and remember those people that we've lost. But at the same time, we should stand up and say this is wrong. Let's try and progress to somewhere where we can change that and make people who can purchase guns, we can make it less easy for them to do so, to try and prevent people from dying in future. And I don't know whether it's to do with power or money or corrupt people in general, but it's disgusting how much hatred there is being spread around this earth like a fucking virus. Like, what makes it worse is that Donald Trump, that man, their bodies weren't even cold before he tweeted that, I called it's Islamic radical terrorism. not even like a condolence, I'm shocked that this has happened, this is such a tragedy, thoughts go out to victims and families. No, it's a, yeah, congrats to me because I called this for what it was and we should all start calling what it is, before he even knew what it even was and who did it in the first place. That is fucked up. And people still vote for this man. What is happening? Is everyone just going off their nut on drugs crazy? Like, that is so wrong on so many levels. Someone please explain to me why this is happening. Are there just a load of dumb people somewhere that are just drinking this all in like it's some sort of, you know, magic potion? Can I also add, on the subject of radical Islamic terrorism, as we should all be calling it, apparently, President Obama made a speech just after the shootings occurred saying, yes, radical Islamic terrorism, let's all say that. However, it's not going to fucking change anything by calling it what it definitely isn't, or whatever it's supposed to be. How is that going to solve any problems? It is not going to solve any problems by saying this is what something should be called. No! And I don't really want to say this, but in amongst all this division and divide and hate and segregation and fear-mongering, media politicised circus crap that is being fed to us, that is exactly what ISIS wants. We're playing into their hands, we're doing their job for them. That is what they want us to do. They want us to fight amongst ourselves, they want us to hate one another, they want us to cause a divide, they want to create cracks in society so that they can get in and exploit our weaknesses. And that's exactly what's happening. Please don't let anybody tell you that you can't be yourself. The world might be a scary place at the moment, and it might seem like people are trying to stop you from living your life and being who you are, and people might hate you for that. But you should be confident that you have the freedom and the power to say, this is who I am, and this is how I'm going to live my life. And that's your right. And you should never feel scared of that. Don't ever feel threatened by the fact that someone doesn't like the way that you live. So what? Who cares? Carry on with your life regardless. So I guess to round this video off, it's already been quite long already, just tragedies bring out the worst in people and also the best. And in this kind of situation where bad things have happened, try not to let negative people influence the decisions that you make. Don't be ignorant. Listen to what other people have to say, even though you might not necessarily want to listen to their opinion. Compromise where you can. Be kind to one another. And be yourself as much as you can be. Because that's all we really can do, isn't it? Just keep on fighting the good fight and being ourselves. So, bye guys, and see you soon, hopefully in a more positive minded video. Bye.